very first thing it wants us to do is put this cover plate over where the factory blower motor went through the Firewall. They don't use that hole anymore. Their unit's all self-contained under the dash, so you don't need it anymore. So they give you this plate, and they're showing you silicone this back lip on this plate, and it goes into the hole, and it's got this piece here that goes inside the hole that you tighten it down with a bolt. Now, I just dry fit mine just now, and the hole in my Firewall is smaller than this lip, so this won't fit down in there, and it's got a little lip that sticks out towards the front of the car. So if you try to put it on the way they're saying, it kind of slips around on there. It's not going to fit right. If I flip it over and put it the other way, that lip fits down into here really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on backwards because it'll fit my car better that way, and I'm going to put a bead of silicone around this lip right here. So let me get that done, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, I got that piece put up in there, as you can see. One problem I did have with it was the little bar that holds it on the back. I had to run a tap through the threads that had paint in them, so make sure you do that first, because otherwise it won't screw in there easily and you're going to be fighting trying to get it tightened down. So I got that part done, so we'll move on into the interior now. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the inside of the dash, taking the screws out. You got a screw here and a screw here on the outside of the dash on the right side. And on these, the bottom screw anyway, you're going to need a stubby screwdriver to get in there between the door and the screw. The rest of them use a regular screwdriver. And then along the top of the dash, there's three screws along the top of the dash there, if you can see them. And then over here on the left side, you have two screws here that screw in to hold the center console gauge cluster to the right dash pad. And then to take the center gauge console out, there's also a screw up here you got to take out, and then there's two more screws over here on the left side, and then there's two screws that go into the lower console here, center console, but the holes are slotted, so you should be able to just push that bottom out and take it out. You might have to loosen them a little bit, but you shouldn't have to take them all the way out. So I've done this before, I videotaped this before, so I'm not going to videotape me taking all the screws out and taking those out. So I'll go ahead and get that done, and I'll show you where we're at after that. My goal is not to take the gauge cluster out on the left side here, the left console, left dash, if I can prevent it, because it's a pain with all the wires, and you got your tack cable going to the distributor, you got your speedometer cable going down the transmission. It's just a real pain to get it out. You got to drop your steering column and everything. So I'm going to try to do this without taking that out. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because the vent tube that I got to run over to that round vent there, I don't think I can get to it with the dash in place. So what I might have to do is just drop the steering column, take the screws loose, and just pull it out a little bit. That's what I'm hoping the very most I'll have to do. I don't really want to take that out again. It's just a real pain. So let me go ahead and get this right dash out and the center gauge cluster out, and then I'll show you where we're at there. Okay, I've got the right dash out and the center console gauge cluster out, and the first thing I had to do was put this cap on the fresh air inlet over here. It just got two screws holding in place, just pushes in place and you screw it in, no big deal. The second thing I got to do is the defrost air duct that goes up to the dash pad. It fit in there like that. There's two screws to hold it in. I took it out, and then you have to take two more screws out right here, one on each end. I'll get up in here and show you. Right here, one on each end of that vent cover. And this is the new one that goes in place of it. It's got a screw hole on each end, and it just goes up in there like that and goes into those factory screw holes with the inlet on it here facing towards the passenger side of the car. So let me get that bolted in there and I'll show you what it looks like after it's bolted in place. Okay, I've got that ductwork put in. I went ahead and I've got that aluminum tape that I use on the insulation. I went in and put some of that on there to help it seal and also help hold it up there. There's only these two little tiny screws on each end. They don't go into the plastic very far. I was just kind of worried that hose that hangs into that opening there down to the air box, that it would be putting a lot of pressure on it and might pop it loose. So I went ahead and just kind of sealed it up with some of that aluminum tape. I think that'll keep it from leaking and also help hold it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the next step. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is, on the passenger side, we've got to remove this piece and put a piece that comes with a kit that replaces this that the hose hooks into. So the first thing you got to do is unscrew this out of there. You'll use that over again just to fill that hole in. But what you got to do is take a screwdriver, take this piece out. Camera up a little bit. I don't know why they just didn't make it where it hook onto this piece and leave those in there, but this is what they want, so this is what we'll do. Okay, now I got to figure out, it doesn't really tell you which one fits where. Looks like that one would fit on that. Yeah, this has got to be the one that fits here. Like that matches up with the holes. Okay, so this goes on there, and this goes on there, and you just put the same screws back in again. This one, the screw is a little awkward because I had to use this because the ear was broken off that old piece. So I'm just going to put it back in there like that. And then your hose snaps down over that. It's got little teeth to hold it in place. Now you have to put this piece back through there. It looks like I might have to grind a little bit off that plastic piece. Let me, I'm going to take a Dremel grinder and grind this out a little bit. Okay, I think that will do it. Okay. And then I have you put the screw in there. Tighten that down, and then that'll look factory from the front, sort of. It's in too far, but I guess, so that won't do anything anymore. It's just in there for looks. The other thing we have to do on the back side here, we got to cut a section of this plastic out. So let me get the pattern. If you look in the instructions back here in the back, this is the template. It says passenger side dash modification template. So I cut this out, and then on these instructions, it shows me where the template needs to go. So basically this first little bit of plastic right here gets cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this back. Hopefully I can get it peeled back without destroying it. And then I will cut that out, and then I'll pull this stuff back up and glue it back in place. So let me get that template cut out and we'll go from there. Okay, I've got it traced out there for the template, and then it says do not cut through this foam on the back side, so I'm going to try to cut it loose from the plastic. Try to peel it down so I don't cut through. I don't want to cut that black vinyl. It'll ruin the dash. So I'm going to pull that down. And then I've got some spray adhesive that I'm going to spray back on there to glue that back in place. Now I just want to make sure it's down far enough that I won't hit it. What I'm trying to do is stick some things in there like that to kind of hold it down. Okay, I got this tool from Harbor Freight, of course. It's a cordless vibrating cutter. I've used a little bit before, not a whole lot. It works pretty good, really, so let's go ahead and see if this will work on this. Hopefully I didn't cut into my handles. Nope. Oh, got that one a little bit. Well, look at that. That worked really slick. I like that. I think what I'm going to do is peel some of this foam out back to here, and then I'll fold this back up underneath here. I'm not sure about this. I think I'm going to trim a little bit more of this off. It's kind of hard to tell in the instructions exactly where they want you to start and stop on the end. They make it look like it just ends, but it curves around. So I think I'm going to take this off right across here. I don't think you'll notice it. I hope not anyway. That's kind of up under the dash. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this last little bit off right here just to make it easier to fold that up. Like that. And then I think I can fold this up in there like that once I cut that foam out. And then I've got some spray adhesive I'm going to put back on here and spray up here, and that should hold it in place. I hope that works. I just want to cut through that foam. I don't want to cut through that vinyl on the back side of that. That would pretty much ruin my day. Okay. Hoping I can lay that up in there like that. I'll have to cut a little bit to get it to form the way you want it to, but just Be careful you don't cut too far. So I might have to trim a little bit more of that off. Looks to me like this was originally a tan interior car, or this piece came off a tan interior car. So I'm hoping that will do it. Okay, so let me get the adhesive and we'll glue it on there. Okay, I want to use a small wire brusher to get all this loose foam off the back side of this, so I get a good bond between this and the plastic. I'm hoping that that will pull up there the way I need it to, like that, and stay there. That's quite a bit of pressure I'm putting on that to get that up there. I don't know if it'll stay there or not. I'm sure some way I could screw that or something, but I don't think I can. Mask some of this off so I don't get spray up too high. Stuff will probably stay sticky forever, so I want to try to keep it off these parts as much as possible. Okay, I kind of masked this off a little bit to keep the glue from getting where I didn't want it to get. So it says spray an even coat on both surfaces, let it sit for about a minute, and then you can pull it up there and make it stick. So we'll see how that works. Okay, we'll let that sit for about a minute. Okay, let's try pulling this up here now and putting it in place. It's been about a minute or so. Okay, hopefully that will stick permanently. It won't look too bad from the front. I'm going to put just a little bit of tape on that to help hold that. I don't know if it would make any difference or not. Probably not, but couldn't hurt, right? And if nothing else, it'll cover up the sticky of the glue there. Okay. You can kind of see how it comes up from the front, but the way that sits like that, you'll never see it. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, that's what we cut out right here. But when it sits in the car, it's sitting about like that, so you'll never see it.